Alright. Alright. That's kind of annoying. I was 18 minutes into my review for this. For Space Marines 2. And then my PC crashed. We shut off. And so we do the video. All 18 minutes of it. And then some. But anyways, hello. This is my review for Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. Like how I typically like to start my reviews, I start cons first and then move on to pros because I tend to typically have less cons than I do pros. Majority of the games I play, um, unless the game's really bad. Um, anyway, besides the point. Let's start with my cons. My number one con: story isn't memorable. I don't really think that's what they were really going for making a memorable story. I think they focused more on gameplay and mechanics and making the game fun to play. And like, don't get me wrong, the story is good. It's just not memorable. I'm not gonna be like years from now trying to be like, oh, remember that moment in this game? Like, there's like maybe one or two moments that I'm like, man, I'm gonna remember this, and that's only because it was like a crazy cut scene or two, and the thing is, it's like the last mission of the game where they like went balls to the walls with stuff, and then like the tutorial um mission. I'm choking on my spit. Anyways, my next con: the rally system isn't that strong. Either that, or it's based on difficulty and the amount of health I was gaining back is pertains to what difficulty you're playing on. But there's a lot of times I went down that I probably shouldn't have gone down if I was rallying health faster. Um, yeah, I know that like the melee feels is kind of slow. Um, but I feel like I don't know, they're moving pretty fast. I just don't think you gain a decent chunk back each time you hit. So it's kind of like, eh. I know you don't want to gain all your health back when you rally. Like on the developer side of things, you want them to slowly like chip away. But like, I wasn't being chipped away; I was getting put down. And it could just be the difficulty I was playing on, and the damage I was taking outweighs what I was gaining, which is fine. 100%. Then that would be my fault, and it's not really a complaint then. Um, lack of private lobbies for operations where you can play either solo or with bots. Um, kind of sucks. I don't mind playing with randoms. I'm fine with that. I just feel like it should be an option if you want it to be an option, you know? But it wasn't. Kind of sucks. Um, granted, I think, I wonder if there even is private. It'd just be nice to have private lobbies. Say if like you only have one friend to play, but you don't want like to play with a random. You just want you and your one buddy to play together and not have to like deal with a random hopping in and fucking up with your team chemistry. You know. Um, but that at the end of the day, it don't really matter. Um, the campaign AI kind of sucks. I will say that there was a moment in the final mission where I got put down on like a ledge area that you can jump to, and one of my co-op AI just kept jumping up and then jumping down when he gets up there instead of picking me up, and I end up just dying. Um, that sucks that you can't just like say if like you're down, you can't just like give up. That would have been nice. I didn't have to sit there for like a minute and a half. I don't remember how long the time is for when you fully die. But either way, honestly though, the campaign AI sucking doesn't really you don't really take notice of it because you're too much in the thick of it. The amount of enemies there are and things like that. There's just so much going on. You don't really pay attention. whether or not the AI is sucking. Like they do their job. They take down enemies. They put damage on some of the guys, the bigger guys. That's all that really matters. That's all they really do. Um, but anyways, moving on to the pros of Space Marine 2. I think the gameplay is fantastic. Brings you back to the good old 360 days, honestly, of just fun games to play, whether alone or with friends. And like they have like a man campaign, they have like side PvE missions you can do, and they have a multiplayer. Like that was like the standard from a majority of games in the 360 era, having three different like modes. Now that's just either solo or multiplayer only. It's nice to see like a company dabble in all three and just kind of like actually have fully complete things, and not like buggy ass shit. It's all good. All feels nice, whether you're playing multiplayer, playing the campaign, or playing operation. It all feels smooth. There's no real hiccups or pigeons at all. Like there's a leveling system, there's gun customization, kinda like mostly perk wise. Not really, can't really customize gun other than perks. But that's only for like multiplayer. It'd be cool if you could have like if there was a small leveling system for like campaign or something. I don't know. That's asking too much. It's a feature complete game. At the end of the day, it's a really great game. Um, and onto my second pro of the game. The gunplay is great. The melee combat is great. It all feels great. The gameplay is superb. And sure, it may seem a little redundant and like lackluster to some. It's not like crazy shit's going on. No, it's like just basic like shoot, kill, glory kill. Like it's just good fun, good natured fun. That's all it is. Feels great. You have a fun time with it. Nothing's really gonna impede on that. Nothing's gonna make you feel bad. Like now, like it's not like one aspect of it is better than the other. Everything is like equal and smooth and feels great. Um, um, Anyways, as I said, the story wasn't really memorable, but the characters are great. They show a lot of growth by the end of the game in terms of like how they handle stuff, and also like they went from like strangers to like brother in arms, and like most space marines are. They're like they say brother or for the Imperium all the time. It feels great. And like at first there's this hesitancy between the three and like kind of like standoffish and like whatnot. But like near the end, man, they're inseparable. The inseparable trio. Kind of. I mean, at the end of the game, Titus like goes on his own mission, leaves Gadrion, Chiron with what squad, Squadron 8. I don't know. I forget. Not that important. Um, but yeah, no, they're like true brother in arms at the end. It feels good. Feels real good. Pulls you in. But otherwise, the story's not really memorable. There's only like 2 points in the story. I was like, ooh, this is crazy. Going good. Like I said, mostly at the end of the game or the at the like the last mission of the game or the tutorial mission where there are like some really badass scenes. The rest of them, lackluster. Not that big a deal though. Gameplay was fun. Um, that's all that matters. I had a fun time. They only cared about making the game fun, and they did. At the end of the day, that's fantastic. I think the scale of the enemy hordes were great. Like the waves of enemies were pretty large. It felt good tearing through mobs with the melee weapon and then shooting through them, fighting until your last clip of your gun clicks away while you start swinging madly. Like it's feels great, looks great, all of it's great, and also like the the backdrop hordes that you can see in like the background while you're doing your mission, fantastic. Makes the situation so much badass, like more badass. Just like seeing hordes of enemies just in the background fighting the Astro Militarium and just like going to war. And then you can see certain things you do like on your mission affect what's going on in the background. And that adds so much to it. It's just mm, French kiss. Chef's kiss, not French kiss. Chef's kiss. I don't know. It's great. Really adds to the lore, like the world building, what's going on. It really makes it seem like you're fighting a Tyranid fleet and like swarm of enemies, and then the chaos soldiers. Not my favorite enemy type. I still think the Tyranid is way more fun to fight. Um, chaos people kind of annoying. Um, and then operations were fun to do after the main campaign. Got you insight of what I just sent the other squads to do. Obviously, that's what operations are. Um, and like that was cool, like really cool. And then yeah, well, I didn't play through all the operations. I didn't really think it was super necessary to. I kind of played. I played through half of them to kind of get a feel of what was going on, like what the class. I only played two classes, but no, three classes. Um, but so I got a good idea of what was going on, like how it felt to play the PVE stuff. Um, with like one round of multiplayer. Uh, felt great all around. Um, but yeah, no, the operations were fun to do. Albeit I wouldn't really honestly feel like I'd want to go through them multiple times, like all of them. Um, but like the replayability is there. Especially if you swap classes, swap what weapons you're using for the class and stuff. Like there's a lot of replayability there, and like that's not a bad thing. I just don't think I would play through the operations that much unless I was playing with a buddy or two of mine. Then I'd be like pretty snazzed out about it. It'd be pretty cool. But as it stands, just playing like solo queuing up and whatnot, I don't think it's that fun to do operation. Um, essentially by myself. Um, I'll say the drip from all the chapters that you can unlock by like playing operations and multiplayer matches, fantastic. I think that's really cool. Um, and the fact that you can customize your Space Marine and change how the armor looks, change the color, it adds so much. Like, um, and all of it's free. Besides just not all of it's free, and there's like, there is stuff that you can get by paying for the deluxe upgrade to the game. That you get like what eight ultramarine chapters or like like a pale thing. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it because I didn't really care to drop $30 on the deluxe edition for cosmetics. Not what I care for. The fact that the only paid thing in the game is cosmetic only and it's like a big cluster of cosmetics, that's really cool. Good. A lot better than $30 being for like say one cluster of Valorant, like one Valorant skin essentially. I think that's good. Um, the class system is very interesting. I've all the different abilities and like how um certain classes can only use certain guns and weapons. Like all of that's really cool. Again, adds a lot of replayability, and the fact that all the classes have their own perks that you can choose um is awesome. Again, adds a lot of replayability. I didn't play too much, so I don't know how the class the perk system really like works, whether or not you could only have certain like not if you can have all the perks active at once, or if like you can pick and choose. But either way, it's really cool. There's a lot like a whole perk system for each class, and then same thing for the guns and melee weapons. Like they each have their own perk system and their own like upgrade tree. Um, is pretty cool. And adds a lot of replayability. A game that's feature complete, like having this much like factors that can aid to the replayability of it without m- arbitrarily extending the gameplay time or anything like that, it's fantastic. Again, really reminiscent of the good old Xbox 360 games and how they would handle replayability and things like that. Feels very similar without like the stuff for the games like 100 hours long. They hide stuff behind 100 hours of grinding to get specific upgrades or um sp- um 1,000 materials just to upgrade one thing up, type thing. It's really nice that it's really simplistic and nothing's like locked behind too much stuff. There's a lot to dig to get to the want, which is awesome. Um, doo-doo-doo. The multiplayer feels like the online like multiplayer feels a lot like here's multiplayer, but less score and no cover grabbing. It's just really good. Just fun, different, two different factions finding it out essentially, and it's simple, not crazy. Multiplayer. That's all it is, and nothing wrong with that. The fact that a game has a main campaign, like an 8-hour campaign, fantastic. By the way, it's not like 30 hours. It's not like it's 2 hours, 8 hours. And very reminiscent of Xbox 360 games, 8-hour long games. I used to burn through them all the time. Um, I'd go to the fucking video store, rent a game, beat it, and you know, like they'd do deals like, oh, rent, two games get a third game to rent for free type thing. I'd do that, and I'd burn through like all three of those games on a weekend, off of school. Felt great, and this is the type of game that I love. Like in terms of that, it just brings back a lot of memories. Um, And the fact that the company plans to add a bunch of free stuff to the game, even better. I know they plan to add like a battle pass for like probably cosmetics, which is fine. Honestly, they deserve it. The money that would probably go from that is probably what's going to be funding any more free stuff after 2025 or like into 2025. It's really cool. And the fact that they're willing to add a bunch of free content without like a paywall is awesome. They're adding a whole new mode, they're adding new enemies, I think they're adding new weapons. Like all that shit's cool. And I would imagine they probably adding more cosmetics. Free and paid. And like the paid stuff isn't like crazy, you know? All of it's great. Um and yeah, at the end of the day, it's a feature complete game. And I had a lot of fun with it. I probably plan to have more fun with it, probably off stream. But yeah, other than that, my final score for Space Marine 2 is 8 out of 10. And that's really good. A good score. Nothing wrong with it being an 8 out of 10. Um, but yeah, thank you for watching. Uh, Leave a comment about what you thought about Space Marine 2, what you would give the game, what your thoughts on anything I said. Comment down below. Like, dislike, subscribe, not subscribe, all that good stuff. All the YouTube shit. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Toodles.